ShadowFrost, and everyone have fun with this run.
All right, thank you, Jess, for that lovely introduction. I guess we just get straight into it. So can I get a countdown?
1, go!
So yeah, this is Super Mario Odyssey, and not just the any percent category. This time we're doing the dark side category. So instead of just speeding the game, the goal of this category is gonna be to get to the dark side of the moon as quickly as possible and defeat what kind of boss there might be and get the moon there in the end. So we start off here in this little kingdom over here, and this little guy is gonna try to wake us up a little bit. We get a little bit of a tutorial of how to move around. But once we jump, he gets scared, and we're gonna chase him. And we're immediately gonna roll quickly after to where he's going, because rolling is the fastest way of transportation on the ground. I'm quickly gonna over here. And it triggers a cutscene, and luckily in this game, most cutscenes can be skipped by just simply pressing plus and quickly pressing plus. So here we hit the switch, and we already do a little quick dive towards where the bridge is gonna spawn, just so we can start rolling on here a little bit faster. And since you get more momentum on downward hills, we don't actually have to spin extra to gain some extra speed. So here we quickly go to these frogs, and there we see the power-up that our good friend Cappy, which is possessing our pet, can do for us. With the Cappy, we can actually possess enemies which are not wearing a head. The frog power-up, it just lets it jump really high, and we need it to get through this segment over here. Unfortunately, the frog isn't very fast, so we quickly get rid of it once we are at the top. Here, I'm quickly gonna hit a checkpoint, because we're gonna be returning here a little bit later. Well, not a little bit later, quite a bit later. Quickly rolling up here, grabbing some of the coins, because we need quite a few coins to actually throughout this run. First brutal fight, he has these 3 caps. You first need to hit him, and once he starts spinning, you can just jump on him and quickly go into this next phase, so you can hit his head off again. Off to a good start, the brutal is dead, and now we can use this electricity pole to actually just go to the next kingdom. So that's already first kingdom, and this is a little bit of the introduction of the game. So here the logo of Super Mario Odyssey is showing up, like now the game really starts. Because so far I haven't even explained completely yet how we get to the dark side of the moon, which would be a good time for that. So to get to the dark side of the moon, we need to get a total of 250 power moons. In contrast to I need to skip cutscenes. Always important to skip all the cutscenes. But yeah, to get to the dark side of the moon, we need a total of 250 moons. In comparison to the any percent run, you only need 124 moons for that. So we basically need to get twice as many moons as we would do in an any percent run. So here we quickly grab the change up, and in that rock over there is our first moon. Oh, maybe hit the moon. Thank you. So yeah, there we get this first moon. There are 2 different kind of moons, so to say. There's these moons where a little cutscene starts playing because it's part of the storyline in this kingdom, and it takes a little bit of a longer animation, and afterwards you get the next mission. So the next mission is gonna be find some way all the way on top of the hill. But before we do that, we're gonna find this ship over here, which is currently not working, unfortunately. So we gotta find some way to power it up, which is what we need the power moons for. So here we're quickly gonna go over to this guy over here. And with this guy, well, we're gonna do a little bit of a skip over here, which wasn't really intended. So normally you would have to go all the way around and find some way on top, but there's also some sort of jump pad in here. And if you just use the T-Rex to use that jump pad, you can just jump up straight to where the boss fight is. So here we actually use the motion controls of the Joy-Cons to actually make this fight a little bit faster, because if you do that, you go a little bit faster, so she doesn't go and start attacking you. I was a little bit too close to the edge there, unfortunately, so I have to kind of move around. So I get enough distance between myself and her, so I can actually get that attack in. Here I also do a long jump on top, a backflip on top of the chain jump, just because it will immediately stop attacking instead of just having to wait for her to pull it back and then it starts attacking again. It's really slow. You really don't want to do that. So here, instead of a regular moon, we get a multi-moon. And these moons, these count for 3 moons instead of 1. Besides that, they don't do that much more different. Usually it's at the end of a stage where you find this multi-moon, or usually after defeating some sort of boss fight. So the reason, before we can move on to the next kingdom, we actually need at least 5 moons to move on. However, now we only got 4, and most of the moons in this kingdom won't unlock until we defeated her. So right now there's just many more moons around here which we can get, but we actually kind of just quickly want to go over to the next kingdom because we'll be dropping back here later as well. So here we just get the quickest moon closest to us, and with that we got enough moons to head back to the Odyssey. And with that we got 5 moons. They get into the Odyssey and it powers up, and it will actually be usable. Now we get a little bit of a tutorial about the ship opening up, going to the next kingdom. So now would be, since it's probably one of the longer cutscenes, I would kindly ask my host to maybe tell a little bit about what we're doing here, maybe some donation incentives or whatnot.
Okay, I can talk about both of those. First of all, we are a beneficiary of the Dutch Cancer Society, an organization that strives for less cancer, more research, and a better quality of life for those already battling the disease. 90% of your donations will go towards the charity, so be sure to get your donations in. The upcoming donation incentives as well. The next one will be for Ahead in Time, which is the very next run already. So if you want to see the Toilet of Doom boss fight, we still need about 60 euros, a little more than 60 euros for that one. There are still a bunch of naming incentives for Final Fantasy VI, which is the night run. We still have the surplexing or body slamming the Doom train, which looks really cool, by the way. That's definitely one I could personally recommend. And there are a whole lot others later on for tomorrow.
Oh, there you saw that I actually threw my cap already before I started the slots. If I put Cappy in the correct spot there, and I can just get the first cycle on when that moon is gonna spawn, instead of having to wait. Actually place... Oh, let me focus a little bit, because I need to get up here because there's a moon right over here. Oh, thank you. So yeah, I placed the cap there close to the slot machine just so I don't have to wait an entire cycle of the moons appearing again. It saves like a second, but it's really useful. Also, this is a puzzle where you normally have to use the motion control, well, the rumble feature of the Joy-Cons to actually kind of search for where the moon is gonna be, but since I kind of already know where it's gonna be, I don't really need to use that to figure it out. There's a little bit of an entrance over here, and in here is... Oh, another moon. Always useful. So in most of these kingdoms, there's usually a storyline, but not in all of the kingdoms we're actually gonna follow that storyline, because the storyline moons are sometimes really slow. For example, in this one, we'll get one of them, because it's kind of on our route anyway. But most of the story we won't do in here. Here, I gotta find the correct spot on the dune. It's a very finicky spot. Come on. This should be around here. There we go. It's a very precise spot you actually have to do a ground pound in, so it can sometimes take a couple of tries to get in there. So up next, the moon is gonna be on top of this archway, and luckily there's this ice block right next to it. If I could actually just land on it. Oh, please stay on. There you go. Ah, then I bonk on the archway. Let's just try that again, I guess. the triple jump, it should be a little bit easier than with the ground pound. So there we go, and there's another moon on top of there. Normally you would have to wait until later into the run, where there's actually going to be a zip line over it, but we don't want to wait for that. So we quickly jump over that gate, and in here we find another moon. So the basic idea behind this run is that we just quickly, in each kingdom, try to go for all the fastest moons out there, and just skip all the slow ones. Which makes sense in a speedrun, right? So here we break open this box, and the moon appears all the way back there, but we're not just gonna grab it yet. We're first gonna go up here into this really cool thing about Super Mario Odyssey. It's the 2D sections. When you go into these kind of 8-bitty pipes, you actually turn into 2D Mario, and you can only move left and right. And it gives you some neat little puzzles here and there. Here, just gonna wait a little bit until this platform appears, and there's a hidden moon in here. Quickly we jump up. Since it's one of the plotline moons, we actually get a little bit of a cutscene, and we need to wait a little bit. So let me also tell a little bit about the story about this game. So as you might have seen in one of the cutscenes I've skipped, which was like for a flash second, you saw Peach and Bowser above Peach's castle, and yeah, basically Peach got kidnapped again, and we gotta save her. It's basically like any Mario game. And to find her, we got Cappy, and we need to find Power Moons to actually... oh, I need to grab that. So here we grab the bullet bill and continuously keep shaking because it makes you go faster, make you just able to get to this pillar over here. Then I'm gonna go over here. Wait, I need to grab another moon first. Hang on. Excuse me, where's that taxi? I know this game. It's over there. Oh, actually, this thing's a little bit out of order. But I can fix that. So, wasn't really intended to go to this moon yet, but we can grab those other moons a little bit later in the route, I guess. So we're gonna go down here, and this is one of the most of the moons I grabbed so far are also in the any percent route. But since this one is a little bit further out of the way, this isn't actually in any percent. So here we throw Cappy on that skull sign, and we quickly go back to where the moon is gonna appear. The basic idea behind this puzzle here is if you capture that enemy, you can actually see the hidden platforms over here. But who needs those platforms anyway, if you can just jump over to where all the stuff is? And instead of going out by the pipe, we can also use, if we ever touch the checkpoint flag at any point during the run, we can just teleport back to it. So this way we don't actually have to go out and get our way back into here. So here, I'm gonna go for the moons I skipped earlier by accident. So here we're gonna go underneath this wall. And there's another moon. Oh, don't bonk against the pipe. Quickly gonna throw Cappy over here just so we can bounce over here and can talk to the swings. And this is the swings who ask us all kind of different questions, which we can kind of find the answers for in this kingdom, but luckily I already know the answers. So this one is gonna be 30 coins to get a Jaxi, which is apparently a thing we can get. Apparently a car was stopped by some ice. And we actually saw that car when we grabbed that one moon. And then finally he asks you what his name is, and luckily I still remember that it's Swings. And for answering all his questions right, he gives us another moon. But besides that, he also opened this little doorway over here. And there's lots of cash! Yes! We're actually gonna grab the most of this cash just because throughout the run we want to get about 1,000 coins, just because you can also buy some moons at specific points, and will also gain us one achievement at the end of the run, which I'll come back to later to the achievements. So here we jump back on top of this pillar again. We're quickly gonna go down here and grab this bullet bill. Because over here, there's a moon hidden in this block. So why not get it, I guess. Quickly, we walk back and grab this another bullet bill. And there's another one over here. And instead of going back, we're actually gonna fly a little bit further and do this little bit of an unintentional shred. We just jump on top of these runes over here and open that other chest. In that other chest, there's like 50 coins, which again will be useful because we need like 1,000 in total. So here, we're quickly gonna roll towards this little cactus over here, and it looks a little bit different than the others. You can actually throw your cap on this one, and it actually hits the moon underneath. And once we get over here, we actually get to the oasis. And in the oasis, there are a few more moons, including this bird over here. This bird just flies throughout the entire level. And it can be kind of annoying to find him in a correct spot. However, since we did that teleport to the top of the tower, he will always be around this spot anyway if we do everything correctly. So that gives us just a very easy opportunity to grab that moon. So here we grab one of these music notes. And if we grab all the music notes in time, a moon will appear. And with all of these moons grabbed, we got 24. Well, we got most of the fast moons in here, so we don't really need any more in here. So we're quickly gonna go back to the Odyssey and move on to the next kingdom. So to continue, you only needed like 16 extra moons. So in an 80% run, you would just go for the 16 fastest moons. But the fun thing about this category is at least in my opinion, that besides just finding the fastest moons in any kingdom, you also need to combine it with like which moons are fast to grab in general, because we still need to find like over 100 extra moons, and those can be in any kingdom. So here we get a little bit of a choice, like to which kingdom do we want to go first. I just decided to go to the Lake Kingdom first because it saves a little bit of menuing, and I don't really want to do complex menuing, so... And it doesn't matter in the end at all. And every time you're in this airship, Cappy will tell you a little bit about one of the moves Mario can do and what kind of item you can actually find in there. Because apparently Bowser is planning some sort of wedding, and he's apparently gonna steal a dress over here. Because Peach needs to be nicely dressed for the wedding bride. So here, we're going for a little bit of a slower moon. There is technically a faster moon out here in this kingdom. Oh, make sure I grab them all. But since will be one of the kingdoms we return to later, it's actually more convenient to grab it later during the run. And the idea behind this level is that you actually go and find a secret passage underwater to get to this side of the level. But with just a triple jump, you can just get on that wall as well. Here we triple jump towards this little zipper over here. And with that zipper, we can open up the wall. And if we hit that coin, an entire trail of coins will appear, making us able, again, some more coins for later in the run. Here we jump into the water, and we quickly capture one of these Cheep Cheeps, because Cheep Cheeps are way faster underwater than Mario would be by himself, so it's way more convenient to that. I actually forgot a moon somewhere. Oh boy, the route mistakes are already happening. Normally, this would be the moon that you would grab later, and then... oh, I know exactly which one I missed. It's really close to the Odyssey, so I'll grab it during our second visit. Will you please just grab this? Thank you. Anyway, now we position ourselves a little bit like this, because if you're close to this platform once you jump out of the water, you can just jump on top of here and don't have to find some other way on top of there. So here we're gonna fight a different Brutal, and this Brutal is taller than all the others, so it can sometimes be a bit annoying to jump on top of him. Oh, that's not the strat I wanted to do. You can actually jump on top of his head, and it will actually skip his entire bouncing, like that. Definitely speeds up this fight by quite a bit. So yeah, there's that Brutal. And that's basically all the storyline in this kingdom. They stole the dress and the Brutal is just at the end. And they reward you multi-moon for it. And since the fight isn't that slow, it's actually worth it just because of the multi-moon. So yeah, now luckily we are returning to this kingdom later, so I don't really have to go for that other moon right now because literally it's like right next to the Odyssey, so I could grab it now, but I don't want to mess up with my moon count, so I might get confused later in the run, so I'll just grab it during our second visit of Lake Kingdom. So another 8 moons, totaling up to 37, which should be correct. Oh, my notes aren't open right now. I can open them in a bit. But I'm pretty sure we only get 8 moons in here right now because we're returning here a second time anyway. So earlier we had this choice to either go to the Lake Kingdom or the Wooded Kingdom. And basically we have to go to the other kingdom now. So it doesn't really matter in which order you do them. You do them both in the end anyway. So Cappy giving us more information about what we can do. And apparently in this kingdom there's some sort of special kind of flowers which can make a really beautiful bouquet. So apparently Bowser wants to seal something for the wedding here as well. Here we're gonna encounter our first bunny, and these bunnies, basically like in Mario 64, you have to catch him to actually get his reward. But just by throwing Cappy at it, you actually slow him down by quite a bit. Also, you can grab one of these rocks. Like, certain rocks will have a moon in them. If you actually pick them up and bring them to another rock, it will just instantly break open. Normally, you would have to kick it like 8 or 10 times, and it's really slow. But if we just bring it to another rock, it will just instantly break open. Here, we enter the first... well, the shop is... It's not really a shop you can go in, but we enter the first shop where we just buy another moon, just because it's a pretty easy moon to grab. Like, many shops will also have an animation, like it will be inside and it will be a loading zone, and those are slow. So this one being outside is a pretty fast moon. So here we jump up this wall over here, but instead of going for it, we're go back for a little... Oh, oops. Ah, Fire Bro, don't do that. Let's try that again. There we go. Here we grab another moon. In this level, a lot of these moons will be hidden in these nuts. Here we open up the gate. Like, right now, it has been really silent, but luckily after this moment the music will start playing since we got to the main area of this level. And we also get the cool onion capture power. If you shake with it, it will extend this leg by very long, which makes us able to get on top of this wall over here, where another moon is. And with a long jump over here, we can skip this entire segment where we have to go up. And before we head actually to where we're intending to go, we're gonna go into this maze over here, because as what you would expect with a maze, there's some stuff gonna be hidden inside here, which is, in this case, is gonna be a moon. By quickly walking back, we don't want to actually complete the maze, because the maze by itself is pretty slow, so... Oh, need to be really careful here. If you fall down here, like... most places you would just die if you fall down, but this is specific spot is very specific since there's actually a hidden area down here. If you fall down, you actually need to find some way up again, and it can take like over a minute to actually find that way and be back at the correct spot. So that jump, I do extra careful this time. So yeah, here we got another moon. Like, we already killed the piranha, but since the animation takes a little bit, I just went for that moon first. But yeah, that's one of the story moons, and once we grab this moon, we get closer to where the Brutals might be stealing the flowers, and, you know, Mario being the good guy, we gotta stop them. Another cool thing about this, well, wouldn't say really cool thing, it's kind of slow. We basically get to this small auto-scroller part where the path will slowly appear before us once we press that button. And we quickly go to this extra segment over here, and there's another nut over here. And with most nuts in this level, there's actually a moon hidden inside if it's a little bit packed away. to actually get to the next segment, there would be another P-switch we would press over there, but luckily the platform is close enough to actually just jump to. So we just go in here immediately. There would be another switch there, which would create more of those platforms. Don't want to do those either. We're just going to use this onion to get to this segment where we have to use it for just a little bit, just because there's this moon over here. Because once we're in this alcove, if we do this really precisely, we can just already jump on top of there as well. And there's another moon right up here. And now we don't need Mr. Onion anymore, because Mr. Onion is really slow, so we'll just leave him there. Over here, just a small little skip by just doing a backflip. We can actually just wall kick up this boss fight. And with this brutal fight, oh, we actually need to jump on top of him. Quickly want to break open this thing. But if you actually jump on top of his head, it skips his entire attack of him going around the stage, trying to hit you, but yeah, that's just annoying. Again, grabbing some extra coins because we gotta wait anyway, and we can use those coins later. So yeah, that's the brutal fight in here, and the brutal fight gives us 3 moons again, so definitely worth to go for it. Not only because it gives us 3 moons, but after this, the next part of the story will unlock in here, because even though we stopped the brutals, the flowers are still being stolen. So we gotta find out how they're stealing the flowers. So we gotta find a secret way to where the flower garden is, but you know, that's all too far from here. It's just that some extra sections of the level unlock where we can get some extra moons. So now in this level, actually these flowers appear again. And if you grab them with Mario, Mario will start running really fast. But it can be kind of annoying to stop him, so the only real good way to stop him is by doing a ground pound immediately. Oh, doing a ground pound immediately after the jump. Also, a thing that I haven't mentioned at all yet, like you see me constantly doing ground pounds all over the place. If you actually do a ground pound and immediately jump, you actually jump higher than you normally would. So with that higher jump, you can actually reach way more places than you were actually you are actually able to get to with a regular jump. You're gonna do a triple jump. Hopefully, barely makes us far enough to actually get to this segment over here. And here we get these cannons, which use motion controls for aiming, which is sometimes a little bit finicky, but this is good enough to open the path for us. Because the only thing we really want in here is this moon. And then we can just skip the rest what's on top of there. Here we're gonna capture some of these Goombas, because one fun thing about Goombas is that you can stack them up in a tower if you just jump on top of each other. And another thing that's actually useful for the speedrun is if you get close to one of these lady Goombas with a Goomba, she actually gives you a moon. If you get close with Mario, she gets scared and runs away. Oh, let's actually try that again. There we go. They're quickly doing a ground pound just for some extra coins. You're not falling in the gap. And we're just gonna grab a few extra quick moons that are around this place. So we're just gonna jump off the stage, but luckily there's a little alcove back here where another moon is. This keeps doing a... Normally this passageway is a little bit hidden here in this corner over here, but you know, if we know that we can jump down, why do it the difficult way? Here we're gonna jump into the water. And in this pipe, there is, it's gonna be a little bit of a mini game puzzle-ish, and there are a lot of these kind of stages in Mario Odyssey where you basically get into this secret part of the level, small area of the level, where 99% of the time 2 moons will be hidden. One will be the secret, and one will just be for you getting all the way to the end. So we just found... Oh, don't ground pound into the fuzzies. Quickly get up here. Oh, there we go. So yeah, there are a lot of these levels where this one moon is going to be hidden in the level, and another moon is just at the end of this secret stage. And with that, we basically got enough moons in here for us to actually move on to the next one. For these first few stages, I know the numbers from the top of my head, so I know that I need 58 after this one. However, starting from this point... Wait, no, I'll still know for the next few kingdoms as well how many moons I need. But sometimes you just forget a moon somewhere and you get kind of scared because you basically... There's gonna be a few backup moons I would be able to grab, but not that many if I don't notice in time. So hopefully I can just remember the entire route and don't have to go for any of the backup moons. So here we get the Odyssey is able to get to the next kingdom, Metro Kingdom, but before we're able to actually reach the Metro Kingdom, we basically get stopped here in the Cloud Kingdom because apparently here in the Cloud Kingdom, Bowser actually is. And hey, that's what we're going for, right? Trying to stop Bowser, getting Princess Peach back. So we're quickly gonna go over here. If you hit one of those platforms, which Cappy, it will actually create a platform, but I don't want to use all the platforms, so I just use that final one. Alright, so this is Bowser. He's gonna throw his Cappers out, but we can easily just counter his attack by that. And if you actually hold, you can actually hold his head for a little bit after he threw it at you. Like normally, if you would just grab the Bowser's head, he would jump away and start attacking you again, and that's really slow. But if you actually get him pretty close and just roll into him or just get to him really fast, he won't jump away and start doing other attacks. So that definitely saves you quite a bit of time during this boss fight. And as with as good as any Mario game, this guy takes 3 hits to actually defeat. So here, hit number 3 will appear. Quickly punching him, but he doesn't go down as easily. He tries to counter-attack with the steel, but we quickly jump over. And with that, Bowser is defeated, but he manages to escape because Mario precisely aimed him on his ship and his ship just flies away. Good job, Mario. Now we gotta chase him again. And after he flies away with his ship, he basically shoots the Odyssey down, and now we're in this Lost Kingdom over here, which our ship is broken and we need to find enough moons to actually be able to move on again. So in this level, there's a really annoying part where Cappy actually gets stolen by a bird, but I really don't want to deal with that because it's really slow and it's annoying. So we're just gonna go over here first. And with that, we basically avoid where the trigger is gonna be where Cappy gets stolen. So now we're just gonna explore this level a little bit out of order. Jumping up here. Hit this button, these blocks appear, which actually makes us able to get all the way to the top. And of course, gives us many coins. Actually, we need this checkpoint later, so I'll quickly grab that. And in the shop, we just get another moon, because I really like Toads, so let's just buy a moon in here. Well, okay, I don't really always like Toads. Normally, Toads in speedruns are really slow, but this time we can buy a moon from them. So, I guess that's good. Oh, we're quickly going out again. And then we jump down here, because all the way over here, there's a moon. Let's just get it. Quickly throw Cappy, because... Oh, okay, that wasn't intended. I wanted to land on that platform. Oh well, but yeah, after you grab a moon, you actually are able to throw... Mario's animation completely gets cancelled again. So you're able to... Even if you would already have thrown Cappy in the air, you can still throw him again. Oh. There we go. Giving a little bit of a cycle there by using that block. And, you know, we basically gotta go all the way to the top of the stage again. And just teleporting there would be slower than just dying. So we just take the death there to warp all the way to the top. Here, quickly climbing into the tree because there's another moon here. And once we did that, we can go into this cave over here, which has some little sprouts which need to grow. And if we quickly hit them all with Cappy, another moon appears. I just did one of Mario's special attacks there by flicking both Joy-Cons sideways. Cappy will actually start making a circle around you, which can really be helpful for that. Like, Other moves Cappy can do is actually a homing attack, which I did for the butterfly just now, which just makes, if you throw Cappy but you barely miss, Cappy will just home onto the closest enemy or whatever else he wants to target on and is able to still hit that thing. So here we get to the part where the bird, you just saw the bird there who normally would steal Cappy. And actually by getting really close to him like that, we actually cancel, we kind of triggered a fight against him. So now if we would go to where the Cappy normally would get stolen, that doesn't trigger anymore because the game already thinks we're in that boss fight. Here we get one of these guys and we intentionally get hit there just so it breaks that block with the moon in there. Another moon back here. And if I quickly throw Cappy to the left, I can just immediately grab the blocks again. So here's another one of these guys, and there's basically this cage over here, and he's really scary though, so I'm just gonna duck and he just flies over me. And he hits the cage. So now we're almost at the end here. We're quickly gonna go to this little stump over here. If we do a backflip off here and then bounce on Cappy. Oh, okay, maybe not. Let's try it again. There we go. Second try, still good. Normally you would have to land from the top, but I don't want to do that. And the final moon we're grabbing. Oh, that's kind of annoying. Let me think. I kind of need it, so I'm just gonna go for it immediately. So I'm gonna land on here quickly. I don't want the bird to trigger, so there we go. We just normally you would have to get one of the caterpillar enemies in this stage where you can extend just really far, which makes you able to get that moon without falling in the goop. But you know, getting that enemy there takes quite a bit, so we just take the death there and quickly get back to the top. Because with that we can actually grab this guy and he'll just glide us all the way over to this island. Seems like it's kind of a slow moon, but luckily there's this catapult over here which takes us right back to the Odyssey. Normally would either have to just walk all the way back or teleport towards the Odyssey, which takes a lot of time. So actually going for that moon on the island actually doesn't take that much time in comparison to just going back to the Odyssey. There we go, the Odyssey is restored and we can finally head to that next kingdom where we were kind of already alluded to where we could actually head towards to. So Cappy, of course, telling us again something about what can happen. And he tells us about the Metro Kingdom, where they apparently have found some way to use the power of the moons to actually power their city. So there must be plenty of moons in here. However, Bowser is here again, and there is something on top of the tower, which we kind of gotta figure out what's going on. So we're quickly gonna go over here. And normally in this level you would have to find some really difficult paths all throughout the city to actually find some way to the top of that building. However, we're not gonna do that entire puzzle. We're just gonna go over here. Oh, kind of unfortunate. Let's make this a little bit safe. We can actually use that to actually get on top of this building. And if we then long jump on the side here. Not only do we get to this moon, we already get pretty close to where we actually need to head towards to. Because we basically need to get to that building where you see all the Bowser billboards. Oh. Okay, I wanted to throw Cappy there, not do a dive. Okay. It's fine, I think I get sent back to almost the beginning again. Yeah, that's unfortunate. We gotta do this trick over here again then. Oh, that's not gonna work. I'd rather just fall down immediately once I know that I don't get it. Otherwise you bonk against the wall and bonking is really slow and that's just annoying. So let's try that again. Oh, don't run off, Mario. There we go. Now that you bounce Cappy, you can just land on this building. With a long jump, you can just get far enough to actually land on this part over here. There in the corner, in the corner of your eye, you might have spotted the moon over there, but even though it seems really close to get, it will actually be faster to grab it later. Once we get back to this part. Alright, now I would say one of the more difficult parts of this kingdom is showing up. Oh, please. I'm trying to do a little bit of a skip here, but if Mario actually starts doing a wall slide like that, you can't actually land on Cappy again, which would be kind of bad because I kind of needed to land on Cappy one more time. Also doing a little bit of skip there, so we just can get to this pole, and by just wall jumping between the pole and the wall, you actually go way faster than you would with... okay. Would be way faster than actually just climbing up. Here we're gonna go to the next pole. We're almost all the way at the top, and there, in this chest over here, there's another moon hidden, which is really useful. Not only did we do a fast way up there, we also get rewarded with a moon for that. Oh, quickly jump back. I accidentally threw Cappy there. Because you want to do a long jump over here towards this side. And with that, you can barely get far enough to actually get to the exit of this building over here. Alright, then again, it's important to grab this checkpoint over here because we need to teleport up here later. And with that, we go all the way to the top of this building where the Mecha Wiggler is. And this Mecha Wiggler, it's one of the more annoying boss fights of the run, I would say. First part is pretty easy. You gotta shoot all segments of his body. Once he does that, you can shoot him, and I think it's 5 times from the top of my head. And then he'll go into this next attacking phase. And before you can start attacking him again, he'll try rushing into you a couple of times like this, which is kind of annoying, but I expected him to go to the other way. Basically, I tried to let him walk to the smallest amount of distance here by just trying to point, basically just cut the corner so his animation isn't as long. Now the annoying part of this boss comes up, where he's gonna basically gotta hit all his segments again, but this time he's way longer. And the annoying part about this is that you don't really have a lot of time to hit all this part of his body. Ooh, barely got him. Can be quite difficult to get him like that. If you don't get him in time like this, he'll actually start. He'll go away again and try to rush at you again, which is really annoying. It can sometimes be quite tough. So I'm happy that I got a 2 cycle on this boss fight, even though I got hit a few times. So with that, we get a multi-moon, but more importantly, most of the moons weren't available yet in this kingdom, so you're kind of forced to do this boss fight as best as you can, because after that, you get... This kingdom is probably one of my favorites, just because this kingdom is filled with all kind of little mini games and just all kind of new different ways to figure out to get some moons. So yeah, we need quite a few power moons, like 20 moons in total, which is one of the highest amounts in total you would need to get. Before we actually head into the city, I'm gonna throw Cappy near where the pole is gonna be. And once we grab this moon, I'm actually gonna shake my Joy-Con over here. And unfortunately, Cappy wasn't close enough to the light pole there. If he's actually close enough and you start shaking, he'll immediately grab it and you don't have to walk all the way back to the pole. Here we captured this guy and we can actually able to control the RC car over here, which can kind of be tricky sometimes, but we got it relatively fast. Your fast way on top of this building is just using this little... I don't even know how to call those things. Those things that hang above windows. We use that to bounce up, and up here in the trash, there's another moon hidden. Then we're gonna capture one of these poles, and these poles makes us go really fast. And we basically just want to land next to this guy, because this guy is kind of lonely, and he's really happy that someone finally sits down next to him. And for that, he gives us a moon. So he's glad he made a friend here. And yeah, then we just leave him. Bye. Here, breaking open this box. With another moon over here. Oh, whoops. We have to go out of here again. And we go in here again, and we see a similar minigame we saw before, which are the slot machines. But this time, instead of 3, there are gonna be 4. But the strat still stays the same, though. So we throw Cappy to the left of there, and we quickly let Cappy return towards Mario when he's up there, and you quickly get the moon over there. Might not seem like the fastest moon to grab, since you need to talk a little bit to the guy before you can actually start it. You get an animation of going in, animation of going out. However, there will be an achievement later, which we kind of need to do all the slot machines for. And with those achievements, we actually can get extra moons, which will eventually still make it worth to go for all the slot machines. Here we just roll through all the people, like, we quickly need to get to the other side for this moon, but with rolling, you basically, you hit them a little bit, but you're still able to go through pretty fast. Then on our way back, there's also another moon up here. And then we go back. What I really haven't mentioned yet, like I said that we were going to Metro Kingdom, but this specific part of Metro Kingdom is New Donk City. It's all based on the original Donkey Kong. The street names have like names like Diddy Kong, Diddy Street, Dixie Street. And there's also Pauline from the very first Mario versus Donkey Kong game. We talked to her a bit, and she wants to find some musicians. And yeah, luckily there's like a musician right next to her, and these musicians each give you a moon once you talk to them. So even though the animation takes a little bit to play through, some of them are really fast to grab, so we'll take that. Here we're gonna go to the corner here of the stage. We're gonna go to this little island over here, and here we see the rest of a little piece of the guy we fought earlier, and there was still another moon in there. That guy had so many moons. And on this island is also the bassist player, which gives us another moon. And basically after each of these moons you grab from the musicians, you get sent back here to the music hall, which it's kind of annoying sometimes to get out to, so now we just teleport out just to the top of the building again with the checkpoint we grabbed earlier. Because over here we can still grab a few very quick moons. First things first, it's gonna be this trash bin over here, which, like the moon, name of the moon, like, how do they take out the trash? Who would ever place a trash can over there? Oh, dang, I wanted to grab that moon. Oh well. And I gotta go back up again. Try that again. Make sure I don't fall down this time. After that, I quickly just throw Cappy away again, just so I don't have to deal with the platform being underneath me or not. Then we go all the way to the top of this building, and I should kind of expect, like, come on, we climb all the way to the top of this tower. We kind of want a reward for that. And luckily, the game actually does give us a reward for that, so all the way on the top, there's this moon. And once we jump from top of here, we're actually gonna go to the swimming pool over here, because there's a moon right above it. Fortunately, I missed the moon there, so I actually had to use the parasol to get back on top again. And we get down here and we get to another of these rumble puzzles, and basically if you feel well enough, you feel that the ground rumbles there and gives you another moon. Probably one of the moons that took me the longest time in a casual playthrough to actually find it. And almost at the end here we see a good old friend. I always love seeing this guy. It's Captain Toad. And Captain Toad just explores the entire world, and he's hidden in each kingdom, and in each kingdom he will give you a moon. And in this one it's quite easy to get him over there. So with that, we got 22 moons over here, which is probably all the fastest moons we can get in here. So we'll leave Metro Kingdom behind now. And with that, we get to 97 moons, which I'm pretty sure is still the correct amount. So I'm happy about that I didn't really mess up the route yet, besides that thing in Lake Kingdom, but no one saw that. So here we get another choice again. Do we want to go to the Snow Kingdom first or the Sea Side Kingdom again? And since it's easier menuing, we just go to the Snow Kingdom first. In any percent, you actually go to the Seaside Kingdom first because you want to get extra coins in Seaside Kingdom. However, we got plenty of coins right now to actually buy the moon in Snow Kingdom. So in here, they are well known for their frosted cake, and we basically gotta find Bowser in here. Unfortunately, this level is really slow, so you can see that the minimum amount to move on is actually 10 moons. Well, that's also the exact amount we're getting. Like, getting any other moons in here is just gonna be really slow and a big time loss. So here we're gonna go over to the snow, and it's Captain Toad again, which we can't really see because the snow is in the way. But trust me, Captain Toad is there. And with that, quickly go back to where we came from, because they kind of alluded to you having to head towards this segment over here. And there's just this big hole over here. And once we enter this hole, wait for it, there's actually a huge underground city. Oh, did not expect that. Oh, don't forget this moon over here. Here we'll quickly do some wall jumps to get on top of there so we can get that moon. And yeah, as I said, most of the moons in here are pretty slow, so we just basically are forced to go into this shop over here and buy a moon. We've got plenty of coins to buy stuff with. But luckily, not everything in this kingdom is slow, even though I might make it sound like that. Because we can actually use this little stand over here to actually bounce on top of this bridge over here. And there's a chest right here with a moon. And quickly gonna jump on this bridge over here. And if I angle this correctly, you can actually make it to this segment. Normally you would have to climb all the way up via those light poles to the right there. And, you know, that actually takes quite a while. Like, if I actually fall down, it takes quite a bit to get back up. And since this is BSG, the Christmas editions, I couldn't leave out all these cute Christmas hats on all these enemies over here. Oh. So here we get one moon on top of this little crack on top of the wooden wall you see. And then for the other moon, we basically gotta defeat all these enemies over here, which we can quickly get rid of by just blowing them off. And with that, we get another moon, which gives us a cutscene, because the idea behind this level is that you go to all 4 segments in this main area over here and collect the moon that's in the end there to open up this gate here. But as you can see, the cutscene is very long and it's really annoying to watch. So for that reason, this level is kind of slow to do. So we kind of want to try to avoid doing most of these. So here we go for another one. And then more Christmas hats. We kind of get rid of all of them though, because we need to stack some Goombas over here. Oh, quickly do that. Was a little bit slow there, like you can already kind of walk with your Goombas underneath that icicle, so it will fall down earlier. However, with the positioning of the Goombas, I felt it was a little bit more safe to just stack up the Goombas first. Also, ice fixes can be kind of annoying here, so I'll play it a little bit safe. Just skipping this segment over here. Normally you would have to get on top of that icicle and do some things to make it fall down. I can't even remember what it is to make it fall down. Yeah, with that we get another one of these very long animations, and it's really annoying. But luckily we only need one more moon in here, which we're gonna grab in one of these other sections, but we're not gonna grab the one that's at the end. We're gonna go grab the secret. So in this section, we have these little wooden packs over here, and if you pull them out, actually wind will start blowing out, which will make us able to go way higher and actually get on top of these walls. But instead of opening this one, there's this little alcove over here, which right at the end has another moon in it. And with that, we got enough moons to head on to the next kingdom. Because this kingdom has basically lots and lots of slow moons, which I don't really want to get. So that makes 107. Still seems like I'm at a good amount. I should probably check my notes whether I'm actually on the correct base, but I'm pretty sure 107 is the good amount here. So with that, just like the previous time we had the split in the route, we go to the other kingdom now. And luckily Seaside Kingdom does actually have some moons that are a bit faster than Snow Kingdom, so we're gonna grab more moons here than just the necessary ones. Cappy giving us more hints, telling us how to do a ground pound. Like we didn't do those at all during the run yet, but sure, Cappy, tell us about it. So yeah, in this kingdom, there's actually this huge fountain over here, which has apparently really good soda, which Bowser kind of stole, actually, and blocked off all the openings of where the soda comes from. I don't know how it works either. It's Mario physics. But apparently there's... I think there's soda hidden underground or something. But don't question it. Here we go in this little cave, and there are these 4 chests over here, which might, for the very nostalgic gamers, know that in Mario 64 there's also chests like this, and it's the exact same order you have to open them in as in Mario 64, which I thought was really neat. Like, first time I went here, I didn't know the order at all, so I just tried that Mario 64 order, and it actually worked. So here we're gonna grab one of these dash flowers again, and once we grab it, we gotta grab all these nodes over here. And again, once we grab all the nodes, another moon appears. And with that, we're gonna grab the most important enemy in... Well, this is probably one of the most useful guys in the entire run, because these guys are able to either go really high or really far, just as long as he still has enough water to make it. Like, you can slowly see the bubble getting smaller in size the longer you use him. But with this guy, we can actually get to a lot of places where you would normally think that's kind of difficult to get to. But, like, for example, this moon right over here. And from that moment, we just start flying on more forward, right to over here, where Captain Toad is again. Ah, great guy, Captain Toad. I actually left him over there, kind of because I still want to use him, though. Because as you see, movement with him is pretty fast, at least, especially for the water part. So I'm actually going to take him over here, and I'm going to drop him in this corner over here. I don't want him to have him too close to this moon, because if you actually take him too close to this moon, he will just despawn, and you can't re-grab him again. However, if you kind of drop him in the corner over there, he's still far enough to actually be able to grab him again once this cutscene ends. So there he still is. With that, quickly grab this checkpoint just so we refill water again. Like, you refill water with either landing in the water, getting a moon. Oh, don't grab him again. So either grabbing a moon, landing in the water, or hitting a checkpoint. At least those are the 3 ways I know of. But yeah, with those 3 you can refill water again, and you can quickly move on forward. So here, quickly do a ground pound in the sand over here. And we just grab our guy again. You'll see, he's pretty fast. He makes us able to get through this level quite easily. So now we get over to this segment over here. Now I kind of had enough of him because we basically gonna do all the underwater stuff now. So we're gonna grab these gypsies again. And we're gonna dash by... The game doesn't actually tell you that this is a thing, so... While the speedrun was being figured out, Actually took quite a while before this was figured out, at least from what I've seen. But if you press B and Y at the same time, the Chief Cheep will actually do a little spin like this, which makes you able to go slightly faster than just regular swimming. Also, lots of coins over here, and another moon. Oh, skip 2 coins, that's fine. And gonna go over to this little cave over here, which, if we get close to it, this eel appears, but I kind of don't want him to wait for him to go back. Kind of had to wait anyway. But if you do it correctly, you can just damage boost through him and get this moon rather quickly. Oh, I got hit there. Kind of unfortunate. Just for that reason, I'm gonna hit this checkpoint over here, because normally if you grab a moon and you aren't at full health, the animation will be slightly longer afterwards, with Mario also regaining his health afterwards, which, you know, wasting another 1 or 2 seconds is kind of annoying, like I did here, so you can now actually see the animation. I just wanted to show it up for you guys. So if you don't have full health and grab a moon, you actually get this animation afterwards of refilling your health. Then I go over here. Then we do the spin attack with Cheep Cheep, quickly activating these 3 spots. Once we do that, we can grab the moon in the middle. With that, we only got 1 more moon to grab. It's kind of an annoying camera angle here, so normally I use both hands just to control the right Joy-Con, because you kind of want to move your camera and dive and do spins at the same time. It's kind of annoying to just do with 1 hand. So yeah, with that, 60 moons should be all the moons we grab in here. And with that, it's the last of the Seaside Kingdom. Which gets us to 123. Which, at this point, I'm actually going to check whether it's the correct amount. And it actually is, okay. We're still on good pace. So we approximately got the amount of moons now, which you would get in an 80% run, but we still need twice as many to actually be able to go to the dark side of the moon. And with this, the next kingdom unlocks, which is the Luncheon Kingdom. Or Luncheon. People are very debating about how you pronounce this kingdom. I personally call it Luncheon, but others call it Luncheon. I just don't know which is the correct wording for it. So with that, we get to this kingdom over here, which is basically all made out of food and all kind of delicious sort of stuff. So quickly gonna go to the back here. Basically gotta wait for this fire guy over here, because you can capture those as well, and that makes us able to go through this. Don't know what it is. It's boiling soup, I think, or something, that pink stuff. It's something boiling, and basically it acts like lava, and it's really annoying. There, I actually went for the heart just because it would get me a few extra coins. Also, I should pay attention to when I attack. But yeah, basically, if you already have full health and then grab a heart, you just get 5 coins out of it. Normally, during this boss fight, you have to wait a lot anyway, so you can normally go for that heart. Unfortunately, I was a little bit slow, so I had to wait a second before he was close enough for me to jump on his head. So yeah, with this brutal guy, we quickly defeated him. That's basically all we see from the brutals in this kingdom. Because in this kingdom, they stole a very delicious stew specific from this kingdom. And yeah, basically it's currently on top of the volcano and some bird is guarding it. And we kind of want to make sure they are able to get their soup again. But before we do that, we just go into this random door over here. And there's this entire puzzle where we would need to collect 5 moon shards and a moon would appear. But that's really slow, so we just get this moon in the back here and just go back towards where we came from. This is where the movements in the level gets interesting, because instead of using the bridge and taking the normal path, we're just gonna go climb up this mountain. Because, you know, that's a cool way, right? And if we go to this pillar over here, we can just continue like this. And we just make it all the way towards this mountain over here, where luckily a moon is hidden, so we can... It's a pretty fast one to grab there. Then over here, we're gonna go into this building again, and it's gonna be a similar minigame again. It's gonna be more slot machines. So here we go. There we go, jackpot again. It's not gambling if you keep winning. So there we go, we got that one. Now, instead of taking a normal path out again, we're just gonna climb up this fruit over here. Just doing a triple jump. We can just immediately get on top of this building. And back here, you don't really see it, but there's a huge stack of crates over there. But the moon is hidden in the top one. And if we just throw Cappy at there and do a homing attack with him, you basically automatically open up the thing where Cappy is, where the moon is in. Here, we get this golden turnip. Oh, barely missed. But, oh, come on. There we go. If you throw the golden turnips in that soup over there, they actually give you a moon. There are 2 more golden turnips in this level, but they're pretty far away from the soup, so we don't actually go for them. Here, going to the spiller over here, because, you know, there's another moon in here. Moons are sometimes very randomly hidden, just random stuff you have to ground pound. And we're gonna long jump to this island over here, and basically we have to go... I'm gonna make a stop at this island, because another moon is hidden with the ground pound. With that, we gotta wait a little bit for this guy over here. We'll quickly go over to this door over here. Because in this door, there's gonna be another mini game, which are gonna actually use the inhabitants of this place over here. Because all the inhabitants in here are forks for some reason. And if you actually capture them, you can actually use them to flick yourselves through the level. And I always enjoy doing this part just because it's really high-paced and lets you go quickly. Oh. Quickly go over here, grab the secret.
Hey, Frosty.
Yeah.
I know we've been collecting a lot of moons, but we have something else that you might enjoy.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we've got 2 donations. One from Indy, 15 euros, saying, good luck to my boy Frosty. Still surprised that Frosty is running Odyssey. Apparently he got past the scheduling team, Kappa. Just kidding, love you, Frosty. The second one is from Velissa with 5 euros, saying, it's been too quiet on donations. So here's one. Let's see that toilet of doom.
Well, basically we get on that mountain over there by doing very high mountain, but with doing a ground pound, throwing... Wait, I don't need this golden turnip. Why am I taking it? And yeah, normally the game doesn't really intend you to go up there that way, but with using some precise jumps, you can actually get on top of there. Here we gotta capture not a hammer bro, but a pen bro, because those are things as well. And those are the only way to break these cheese blocks over here. And with that, we unlock a switch, which makes us able to get this moon and unlock the next part of the level. So here the next segment unlocks, and it opens up our path to go all the way to the top of the mountain, but you know, we're not gonna go there straight away because, you know, there's moons to be found everywhere in this game. So we're quickly gonna grab this fiery guy over here, and we're gonna land on this storage over here, which gives us a moon. Basically for free. And with that, instead of doing like this entire segment where I have to avoid enemies and stuff, we're just gonna long jump over. And quickly run into this door over here. Oh, quickly gonna grab this guy. This part, they want you to wait for that platform over here, but you can barely make the jump by so just make it over there as well. I'm gonna jump up here because the secret is over here. And the cool thing about this being in this form, if you actually spin, you actually gain a lot of speed. So you can actually gain a lot of distance like this. And we do a lava boost! Otherwise, you would have to wait for the platform, and it's slow. And come on, we can do a lava boost. And we quickly grab this 4 guy over here. We're almost at the top now, but, you know, we're sidetracking again, because there's moons to be found. That's basically all that Odyssey is about. You want to go to a certain spot, but then, oh god, there's a moon over there. Let's get it! Oh, accidentally did a bonk there. Just gonna go over this mountain over here. And now my favorite pun of this game. It's the meat! Mario! I just have to make that pun every time, just because I know my good friend RDV, who ran any percent less time he was here. He really hates that pun, and I just wanted to make that pun just for him. So there you go, RDV. Hope you're watching. So with that, we got the multi-moon and some new stuff unlocks again where we can get more moons. Basically, this bird, I think he gets angry and we basically still got to go all the way on top of there. But this time, we can't go there the normal way, so there needs to be a different way. But we're not going to go there. We're going to go to this cheese block that magically appeared over here. And with that, we can just jump on top of this wall over here, where another moon is. Quickly gonna roll over here. Be really careful that I don't reflect one of this guy's fireballs. If you actually hit one of the fireballs, it can actually reflect back to the fire bro. And then you basically kill him and you have to go all the way out to make sure he respawns again. And it's really annoying. Oh, before I go up here, there's a moon hidden in this corner over here. Oh, I kind of want to bounce on Cappy here. There's another timer challenge over here. I don't even think I really mentioned the timer challenge. Wait, did we do a timer challenge already? I'm not even sure anymore. But yeah, these are timer challenges where you basically have to do a certain task within a certain amount of time without the use of Cappy. Which in this case, it's just going back and forth across this platform with falling blocks. Basically, because we're kind of fast at it, kind of already want to have Cappy back slightly faster, so you can jump on top of that scarecrow to get it back early. And then we're gonna use these Goombas over here to go use this corn to actually get across this lava over here. And there's another female Goomba over here, which is hopelessly in love with us, and she gives us another moon for that. And then we scare her away. Aww. And with that, we're almost done at this part. We just, oh. Basically, we have to go up here, and there's another scarecrow back here. With another timer challenge. Quickly wall jumping up. And since I kind of want Cappy back a little bit earlier, I'll just try to land on him. Thank you. Because we basically need Cappy to unlock, to activate the Odyssey. There we go. We got, I believe, 25 moons, and that should be the correct amount. Yeah. Okay. We're at 148. It's still good. This is probably one of the kingdoms where you grab the most moons. So I'm glad I didn't miss any over here. So with that, we got enough moons to actually make it to Bowser's Kingdom. So let's go there. So we're already heading towards Bowser. This run has been going by so fast. But once we get over here, Cappy tells us more about a triple jump. But before we get to Bowser's Kingdom, the ship actually, it gets attacked by a dragon. And I really think this dragon is really out of place in this game. It's like Mario's a little bit cartoonish, but then there's this suddenly this very high detailed dragon over here, which I was definitely surprised when I saw him the first time. So here we grab an extra moon, not only because it's pretty fast to grab, but there's just also a lot of coins back there, which we still kind of need for this run. So here we quickly open this you pull out the sword and this electric pole appears again. And now we gotta fight the dragon. Basically, this dragon is a very slow boss fight because you just have to wait until he's done attacking. So all I can really do is go for these hearts, because since I'm still at full health, I get 5 coins from them. And hey, it's 3 coins. I'll also take those. Oh, and we quickly pull out all these swords from the top of his head, which removes us the Bowser helmet, which Bowser basically controls this dragon. And you can then do a ground pound on top of his head. So yeah, we got all the hearts in here, so now there's really nothing to do over here instead of just trying to avoid all these things. Ooh, we did it. The attacks get a little bit more complex each time, so this time there's way more electricity going. But I really like to just stand in the middle of two of those waves there, because you don't have to do as many jumps to avoid all the electricity. So before he did these singular attacks where just a lot of rings appear at once, but now he's gonna do an entire row of these things all in a row. Luckily that attack is a little bit faster than the other phase, but you still gotta wait for quite a bit of time for him to be done attacking. Quickly remove the rest of these things from his head and do another ground pound. Oh, a ground pound, not a long jump. There we go, the dragon is gone. Still think it doesn't really fit in a Mario game, but it was at least something unexpected. And with that, we get another multi-moon and have enough moons to move on to actually move on to the Bowser Kingdom.
Do we, in the meantime, have time for a donation from my boy on audio?
Definitely.
Because Botmaster Mark has a €15 donation saying, "Gotta love Shift with Jazz and Jelly, memeing ahoy. Also, good luck to my boy Frosty. All money to Sephiroth."
Thank you, Botmaster Mark. Getting a thumbs up from behind the audio station. So yeah, with that, we can finally go to the Bowser Kingdom. It took us a little while. It's been a while since we saw Bowser, so it's time to actually go after him and try to rescue the princess again. Because he's collecting all these items for his wedding, and, you know, we kind of don't want Bowser to marry Princess Peach, because Mario, we can all kind of admit that Mario kind of has a crush on Peach. Otherwise, he wouldn't go out and save her every time over and over again. He's definitely trying to win her heart, but it hasn't really worked so far. Here, gonna roll through this first segment over here, avoid all these Goombas. There's a little bit of a puzzle with the Goombas there, which can give you another moon, but it's slow, so we don't do it. So now, one of my favorite captures in the game is this bird, and with this bird we can use our beak to actually get stuck in the wall, so we can actually climb up. And with that, you can actually do some quite interesting things. But mostly for this first part, it's... Oh, oops. For this first part, you just get hit. Yeah, for this first part, it's kind of explaining you how these puzzles work. You grab the bird and can go all the way to the top of the wall. Going for the checkpoint there, just so we get that health restore. Oh, make sure I avoid the spinies. And there we get another moon. Like, this is one of these kingdoms that differ a lot from the any percent category. Just because in the any percent category, you would only need to grab like 2 extra moons. Which, this kingdom actually has quite a lot of fast moons anyway. So, from the top of my head, we're collecting 21 moons in here in comparison to the 8 we do in any percent. Just shows that there's many quick moons in here. So for this segment, you can't actually move on to the next kingdom until you beat the boss at the end of this kingdom. So for now, you don't actually see in the top left corner how many more moons you need to go to the next kingdom. But I can already tell you that it's gonna be 8 that you need. So here we get to this next segment, and here we actually have to collect these common medals because there are a lot of these segments where there's this big door which we can't really get past unless we actually do the storyline mission. So, oh, always forget this route over here. You can go on top of here, and with that you can grab the common medal that's back here. And grab this one. Oh. Alright, don't get hit here. And we're gonna use these bombs. Wow, that actually hit. Okay. Basically, we need 2 bombs over here. One to collect the final comet shard, and the other one is going to be to unlock this hole over here. And if we put our beak in it, it actually just reveals the moon immediately. Before, you already saw the moon spawning from all the comet shards, but we're not going there quite yet, because there's this little building over here, which has a hole in the back with a moon in it. Not only is it the fast moon, once we go through this pipe... Oh. We get placed next to the moon. So, not only do we not have to walk back, it's also grants us another moon, making this another great moon to grab during the route. So here, the next door unlocks. But before we go to the next section, we're just gonna jump up this building over here because or not, or we're gonna fall down. That's you can also do that. And then when you die, you get sent to this spot, which is conveniently really close to a moon on top of a building, which we definitely didn't fall off earlier. There we go. Yeah, intentional death warp there, for sure. Now we head over to the next island, and there's actually a souvenir shop. Let's go souvenir shopping in Bowser's Kingdom. I always wanted Bowser souvenirs. I guess this is how Bowser makes all his money. He has this great souvenir shop on a random island in his kingdom. But yeah, basically we get another moon in here, and then we leave this place again. And before we leave this island with the souvenir shop, we're gonna use this stone statue over here, and we're gonna just put it at the spot where there's one kind of missing, and it just unlocks a moon for us. So I quickly jump out and quickly go back in again, because the statue actually gets stuck once you get to that spot. However, as you can see here, there's another spot where we can place him. And with that, we gotta wait a little bit for the moon to spawn. But it gives us another relatively fast moon. Once we get out of the spot, we actually get the other moon, because it's right there on our way to the electricity pole. Now we get to this next section over here, which is going to be a little bit of a boss gauntlet, where we have to fight 2 of the Brutals. One we didn't really see before, which is the girl Brutal, and she throws these bombs at us. But you can actually reflect the small bombs she throws at you. Otherwise, you gotta wait for her to actually give you some bigger bombs, and those she actually throws at the ground, which you can reflect. But if you aim it correctly, you can actually hit her a little bit earlier. Same goes with this UFO form. Normally she would go all over the place attacking you, but if you immediately hit her again, she goes on into her next phase. Oh, there, I kind of misangled. The angle can sometimes be a little bit picky. Yeah, only 2 extra bombs. It's not too bad at all. Oh, that's one of the Brutals. But that only destroys one of the Bowser statues. There's also still another Bowser statue on the other side, so we gotta do a boss fight over here as well. And it's gonna be the first Brutal we saw in the run, which it starts off relatively the same. However, once you do it once, he basically gets more and more heads. The good thing about it is you don't actually have to hit off all the heads. Oh. I kind of don't know which one it is. That one. But yeah, basically if you hit him twice in a row relatively fast, he'll do this spinning attack. But if you move slowly to the left, you can actually just jump around him and jump on his back. So you don't have to hit off all his heads and take like 2 or 3 phases of him doing his spin attack. And with that, both Bowser statues are destroyed, and we get another moon. As you can see, many story-related moons over here, just so we can move on to the next section.
Frosty,
Yeah.
we had a question in the audience asking for how much do we need to donate to get you to say banana every time instead of moon?
20 euro.
Okay,
And I'll do it.
You've heard it. 20 euros, and then we're gonna hear bananas instead of moons.
Right, so before we move to the next section over here, this is probably going to be the more difficult section of Bowser Kingdom. We're going to go into this little pool over here, which conveniently has a moon hidden for us. And we're quickly going to swim back up again. Oh, maybe I should have tried to avoid the birds, but... Oh, that one bird got defeated. And we're going to go up here, but before moving on, there's these crates on the back here, which has another moon in it. Let's just go for it. Oh, I bonked against the pipe, but immediately got in as well. So luckily it didn't lose me any time, that bonk. Normally a bonk loses you like 1 or 2 seconds. It's kind of annoying, but sometimes you get a bonk like that where it doesn't really lose you time, just because you immediately get into another animation. So here we lure this guy over to... can you please try hitting it? Oh. Okay, I don't think I got squashed. Oh, I got squashed anyway. So, opening that block gives us another moon in there. And, you know, I kind of missed one of the friends we've seen a few times in the run already, so we're gonna visit him again. It's Captain Toad! Hey, Captain Toad! Always so happy when I see Captain Toad. This music is just so great. And with that, moving back to the actual part of the level, where we need this bird. And then we go on top of this wall. Normally you would need to flick your bird, but if you actually do a spin, you go much higher than doing a regular flick like this. Going to the final part over here. And now we don't need the bird anymore. Bye, bird. Before we head to the next section, I'm gonna climb up this thingy over here. If I position this correctly, I can only jump up here. And if we break the sign, it falls off and it gives us another moon. And with that, we can actually move on to the final island thingy where... Oh my god, it's Bowser. I'm scared. Bye, Bowser. Oh, or we can just land on here, I guess. Because there's another moon here. But okay, I guess we gotta face our fears and actually go towards Bowser and try to fight him. Yeah, Bowser basically escapes and we gotta fight these Brutals in this huge machine. And this fight, I would say it's the hardest boss fight in the entire run. At least to do it fast. Because there are these the four Brutals are all on a different side of this machine. And basically what you gotta do is defeat them, get on top of it somehow, and break the glass to actually hit them. But if we quickly use the bird there, we can actually just use it to stay on top so we don't actually have to deal with finding some way to climb up again. So we can just stay on top of here and do a ground pound on this one. If we then use our cap to actually try to stay in the air over here. Ah, I didn't get back on. That's really unfortunate. Now we gotta wait for this guy to actually stop attacking us. And gotta wait for him to shoot another bird. Kinda unfortunate. So here he also shoots some fireworks at us. And just gonna try to get him a little bit out of the way. And with that, he shoots more bombs. Now we finally get another bird. And we can use these thingies on the side of his leg to actually get on. And we quickly do a ground pound on this one. Hopefully. Okay, this time I actually stayed on. So it could have been a worse brutal fight, but luckily after that third hit I was able to stay on, so I didn't have to wait for another bird to pop up and actually climb its side. It's really annoying. So there they go. They have some beautiful fireworks in there of their faces. Don't know why they make defeated faces of themselves in fireworks. I would just make happy faces or anything, but that's their decision, I guess.
do we have time for another donation?
We definitely do.
Because we've got €5 from Plumber saying, enjoying my time here, so why not donate a little bit of money? And by the way, good luck, Frosty. This is going to the banana incentive, so we only need 15 more euros for that.
It's very important. Like, I would be... It's gonna be great if I constantly say banana. Like, how can that not be fun, right? So yeah, we basically got almost all the moons we want in here, but there's this one moon back here, which it's most convenient to grab now, right at the end. Which brings our total to 21, which... Not 100% sure if it's the correct count. So I gotta look at my notes real quick. Like, if it means... Oh no, I'm actually on a good pace. I didn't miss any. That's good. The sooner I know that I missed a moon somewhere, the more time I got to figure out which backup moon I'm gonna grab. Because if I would figure out in the Last Kingdom, would be kind of bad because there aren't that many good backup moons. So if I would miss a moon somewhere during the run, I would really like to know as soon as possible. So there we go. We got the Odyssey is now completed. It has all its sails are filled, and now we can actually go to the moon. Who would have expected that we would go to the moon afterwards? So the moon is definitely a very interesting level because, as you might expect on the moon, the gravity on here is going to be much lower than it's going to be on Earth. I guess it's Earth. I can't say for certain if the Mushroom Kingdom is on Earth or they have some different name for their planet, but oh, don't do that. Okay, maybe don't go into the Odyssey. You can also go into the Odyssey, and if you would buy souvenirs, they would appear in there, but kind of didn't want to do that because I kind of want to jump up here, but because there's a moon all the way up here. As you can see, with the low gravity, we can definitely make some interesting jumps, so we can actually run over here and long jump all the way over here, throw Cappy, bounce, and dive again. And we go over here because there's a bunny right over here, which it takes a while to actually give us this moon if you actually hit him in midair. And then probably if you don't know about the cool trick where you can just throw this rock against another rock, this would probably be the most annoying rock to get because with the low gravity, as you can see with the other rock, it just flies off into nowhere.
By the way, I think we just got our first banana of the run because Mr. Mark donated the remaining 15 euros, so it's banana time. Also, it reads banana.
All right, thanks everyone for donating for that. So once we get over here, in this chat, there's actually a banana. So while we're at this banana, we can actually, normally you would have to go in this cave over here and do some really long puzzle, but I don't really want to go that way, so we're gonna do the skip. It's called the banana skip. And we basically have to use the swings for that. So once we land on top of his head, I gotta focus a little bit for that. Bounce on Cappy, wall jump. Need to hit a very specific spot on the wall to actually make this. That seems that's right. There we go. With that, we basically skip an entire cave with lots of boss fights, which are annoying, and I don't really want to do that. So getting more coins there so we can because we still need quite a bit. And before we're gonna head into the church where we're kind of gonna expect that's where Bowser is and Princess Peach are. So, but first we're gonna go on top of this church over here. Normally there's a frog on the back here which would make you able to jump high enough, but with some well-timed jumps you can actually make it up like that. So we quickly throw our cap on there for another banana. Banana! We still need to grab so many moons. I gotta say it so often.
We still need so many bananas.
Bananas, yeah. Sorry. So, gonna jump a little bit higher over here. Because there's a secret entrance to the church over here. And if we use that secret entrance, there's another banana! Banana! Once we grab that, we can finally open up this door. Mario's nice, so he knocks on the door first before he barges in. And there we see Princess Peach and Bowser fighting for the ring, because I feel like Princess Peach doesn't really want to marry Bowser. So here we got this fight, sort of this fight again. We've seen something similar earlier. This time it's going to be a little bit more difficult than before. Like immediately he's going to spin it still. It will become slightly more difficult, as you can see here as well. Because now he starts breathing fire as well. But the hitbox of that fire is actually smaller than it looks like. So you actually got a lot of room of error if you actually make a mistake. So here, he throws more heads at you. Roll into him again. Now instead of just doing one spin, he does 2 spins. Wow, first he does 1 spin, then he did 2 spins. What's he gonna do next? 3 spins? Anyway, he tries to breathe more fire at us, but it isn't really working. Here, he's gonna throw his head again. With a lot of fake ones as well. A little bit of RNG, which head is the correct one. Usually if it's the final one is in the middle, it's easier to grab it like that, so that would be better RNG. So here, 3 spins, didn't expect that. But then he does 1 more spin. There we go, there goes Bowser, and we defeated him, but apparently the banana starts collapsing, so we gotta find some way out. No, I'm not gonna do 2D skip. There is a skip coming up pretty soon, which is kind of difficult, but I'm not good at that skip, so I'm definitely not gonna risk it during a marathon run. So here, the entire thing starts collapsing, and remember playing as Bowser, like, almost skip saying the most important thing. Bowser can do triple jumps, making you able to skip that segment over there, breaking this rock over here, which can get us to this next section, which is gonna be the 2D section, which has a little skip in there, but it's kind of annoying and it saves a few seconds, so no, not gonna do that. Break that. Quickly move on.
Should I quickly say something to everyone watching?
Definitely.
Because it's only an hour left, or more or less an hour left, until the Head in Time incentive is going to be closing. We still need 40 euros to actually finish it. So if you want to see the Toilet of Doom, then we're 40 euros short for now.
Alright, this part has really good music, so I'm not gonna say anything at all. Just enjoy the music. So yeah, that's the end of Banana Kingdom. And at this point, this is when the normal any percent run would end, because you defeated Bowser, you escaped from the banana, and the credits will start playing. Luckily in this game, like with almost any cutscene, you can skip the credits as well once they start rolling over here. And with that, we're gonna move on to the next part. Because after you've cleared the Banana Kingdom, these banana rocks are suddenly glowing with light, which shows us that we might be able to do something with those. Also very important, Nintendo is the author of the software for the purpose of copyright. All rights reserved, copyright 2017 Nintendo. So yeah, now we get to this next kingdom over here, which is the Mushroom Kingdom, which it has Princess Peach's castle. It's very gives a very Mario 64 feeling because you know there we also went to the castle, and there's one more reason why this kingdom will feel a lot like Mario 64. Because first things first, we're gonna go to the shop over here if Mario will actually go in. And once we go buy a banana, it's actually a power star. And it makes a Mario 64 tune. Banana! And with that, before we move on, we quickly go to the top of the shop because Captain Toad is on there. Ah, Captain Toad, we haven't seen you in so long. How are you doing? And he has another banana for us. These bananas look kind of strange, though. So we're quickly gonna grab a couple of bananas in here. One from this bunny over here. Banana! Are you guys sick of it yet? Me constantly saying banana. Oh. So quickly activating all those flowers with a spin throw, which gives us another banana. With that, we activate another timer challenge. This one is pretty tight. Like, it's one of the more difficult timer challenges because you don't got a lot of time to spare. But with rolling, you should have enough time for a banana. Really go back towards this Goomba over here. And we're gonna use this Goomba. This time, we're not gonna use it for one of the female Goombas. We're actually gonna be mean to a Toad. Because this Toad is really scared of Goombas. But he was guarding a banana! And gonna do a little bit of a skip over here. Gonna jump on top of the castle like this because using the actual way, you have to activate the timer challenge as well. Which is annoying. And there's a banana! Right on top of there. And only got two more things to do. First, we're gonna talk to this Toad because this will actually, the Toad will tell you that Princess Peach is missing again, and she went out to kingdoms we've already visited before. So, talking to that Toad, that will actually activate it. Also, we're looking at that piece of art over there because that actually will activate another banana as well for us to collect. So for now, we're done in this kingdom over here. We'll get back here right at the end of the run. Because in this kingdom is where we would collect all the achievements at the end. So with that, we're gonna visit some previous kingdoms, starting with the Cap Kingdom. Because the first time we were in the Cap Kingdom, there wasn't really that much to do. We could basically only go to the top of the tower. But now there's bananas all over this place. So, as you might recognize the tower, it kind of looked like the hint art, so... And that's also actually the first banana we're gonna grab. All the Caps are really happy because their ships got repaired. Once we go over here, this is actually the spot where you would see the Mushroom Kingdom art. Banana! Almost forgot. And quickly go down here, grab one of these Paragoombas, and then we gotta shake. Because this guy flies faster when you shake, but it still takes quite a bit. And we go over to this banana rock over here. And once you hit the banana rock, a lot of new bananas will spawn all over the kingdom, which will actually show you on the map right now. As you can see, it's quite a lot, so for that reason, we like to go back to kingdoms after the run ended. Or at least after we were done at the Banana Kingdom.
Wait. If that was a banana rock, does that mean bananas come from rocks?
Yes. I guess so. Banana! Oh. You're quickly grabbing the Sparaguma, and you already see the bird flying in the back there, and we're quickly gonna fly towards him because you might expect it. He's holding a banana! And we fly a little bit further. And in this shiny spot over here, we're first bonking the wall because Mario likes checking balls. And there's another banana! And with that, it was, as you might have remembered from the start of the run, we grabbed that checkpoint specifically for this reason, just so we can go to the top right now. Because right over this edge, there's another banana! I'm gonna kind of position myself, or land on the flagpole. That also works. If I would have not done anything and just landed on the ground, Mario would be stunned for a little while. However, if you throw Cappy right before you land, or hit a flagpole like that, banana! If you either throw Cappy or land on a flagpole, you don't actually get that trembling animation, so that definitely saves a bit of time. So here's Princess Peach. She's visiting this kingdom because why not? She wants to visit all the kingdoms. And she gives us another banana she found. And we quickly go back up here because we're gonna need this Goomba again. Because earlier we scared a Toad with a Goomba. But some of these guys are also kind of scared of this Goomba. So gotta lure him away. And there's another banana. And back here, another timer challenge. Instead of using that platform on the right, I'm just gonna long jump there immediately. Not that it really saves any time at this part, but however, it will save time on the way back though. If I would make it! But I don't! Okay, now we're all the way on top of here again. I don't even have a teleport close by. We're gonna roll there then. Well, we can try again. It doesn't lose that much time anyway. I guess I'll play it a little bit more safe now and actually use the platform. There we go. We got another banana. But then we're gonna hit the sign over here because it's glowing, and when the stuff is glowing, there's always something hidden in there. Not always it's the banana, but this time it was banana. And this shop is also pretty easy to access, so sure, we're buying another banana. With that, almost done in here. Oh, don't hit that already. You can see this kingdom is relatively small, so getting a banana. Getting bananas in here is pretty fast most of the time, just because they're really close to each other. And we're gonna use this Paragoomba again. Get to this music note over here. We carefully grab all these notes. If you press B too quickly, you actually fly over the notes, and you gotta go back for the notes. And I don't want to do that. Banana! So now you already see that banana all the way in the end there. But it takes a little while to fly over there, so we just gotta shake for a little bit. Banana! We're almost done though. Oh, we gotta capture this bunny over here. Bunny can be kind of annoying because these hills can be quite difficult to run across and hit him. Okay, there we go. Banana! And let me quickly see if this is all the moons I needed to get. Should be at 201 now. Yes.
You didn't get that many moons. You got that many.
Bananas. Bananas. Right, I got 201 bananas. So now we're going back to the Lake Kingdom because we didn't grab that many moons in there yet. So now I gotta remember that I kinda have to grab a moon that I had to grab earlier.
Banana.
But banana! Banana, 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 banana. Does that make... I hope that makes up for it a little bit. Alright, so we're gonna go to spot where banana is hidden. And after we grab that banana, we're gonna go over to this corner over here. And hopefully... If I... didn't time that correctly, but there's another banana rock over here. Which then will show us the map with all the new locations of the bananas. Where we can collect some extra bananas. Because we still gotta get 250 bananas, right? So let's open up this. This would normally be the section where you have to go underwater, but yeah, we're not gonna do that because there's a banana right there. Using this flower to get back up and hopefully... I missed that bird. It's kind of unfortunate, so gotta wait for him a little bit. Because if I remember correctly, he should go over this way. Go. Oh, that banana's really high. There we go. Banana! And over here, we find another picture with more hint art, which will lead us to a banana later on. So another timer challenge over here, and the moon is... First time I did this, I didn't actually see the moon, but it's all the way underwater here. By doing a lot of ground bounds, you get close enough to actually grab that banana! Now we actually gotta wait for Cappy, because we need one of these Cheep Cheeps. And with that, we're gonna swim all the way up here and go to this little island over here, because there's a lady over here who really adores Cheep Cheeps. And for getting a Cheep Cheep so close to her, she gives us a banana! Oh. Actually just remembered that I had to do something else yet. Oops. I also need to go in here, actually. And use this Cheep Cheep to actually go to this little tunnel over here. Where Cappy gives us really good advice about that fish don't need air. Never expected that. So here we swim. Oh, I didn't even go for the spins. But there's another banana over here. And besides the banana, it's also Captain Toad. Hey, Captain Toad, how are you doing? I miss you. And Captain Toad, of course, gives us another banana. And with that pie, we're immediately back on the top again. Since we still need quite a bit of coins, I'm actually just gonna grab all of these over here. And going back here, we found this lady in her, and we got a banana in her secret little room. So once we got all the moons in that village over there, now we actually use the Cheep Cheep to go back up here. So, kind of went for this one a little bit too early, but those things happen. So here we triple jump towards this banana over here. And right after we grab this banana, we throw Cappy again, bounce on it, and we can immediately land on this platform. Because we really want to break open this box, because in this box there's a banana. But before we grab the banana, we reveal another banana. Because you can never have enough bananas. Oh, made it. And over there we see Princess Peach, which we'll talk to her in a moment. We first gotta climb up this little section over here without Cappy, so fortunately we gotta do a few ledge grabs over here. Banana! Then we talk to Peach, and Peach looks pretty good in this kingdom. She has a different outfit for each kingdom. And she gives us a banana! And with that, we're almost done in here. Just basically all we gotta do is go back to the Odyssey, where on the way back we grab one more banana. So we're gonna use these Goombas over here, and gonna do this jump by... Goombas actually jump a little bit further when you spin instead of pressing B, even though the game doesn't really tell you. Making the jump way easier, because if the Goombas land in the water, they die and you have to grab more Goombas, and that's annoying. This way, we can just easily bring the Goombas to the female Goomba, and we get another banana! And with that, we're done in the Lake Kingdom. Look at all these bananas. Going into the Odyssey, granting us a total of 215 bananas, which is the correct amount. Now we gotta go to one more kingdom we visited before, which is the Cascade Kingdom, which also still has a lot of bananas left, because we basically what we did is defeat a big Brutal on top of the mountain, and we grabbed one really quick moon. But this place is still filled with lots and lots of bananas. I think I said moon again. My bad. Bananas. So we're gonna climb up this pole over here. And we're gonna use this electric line to go all the way to the top. But right before we get there, we jump out because Princess Peach is over here. And she's exploring the Cascade Kingdom, and apparently a power banana fell from the waterfall, and she just gives it to us. Banana! So we gotta go towards the banana rock again. But there are some very easy bananas around here, so I'm gonna go for those first. Let's see. I always do a little race here. Can I beat Cappy towards this moon? I did! We beat Cappy! Banana! Yes, the banana, my bad. Alright, there we break open the banana rock again. And with that, lots more bananas appear all around the place. But before we go for any of those, there's Captain Toad again! We see him all over the place. He's a really great guy, which grants us another banana! I will go back here. Lots of new bananas have appeared all around the place, together with the bananas that were already around there after defeating the Brutal, making us able to get lots and lots of bananas. Oh, oops. Luckily there was a platform underneath. Oh, can you please get on top, Mario? That'd be great, thank you. So now we gotta go all the way to this back platform over here. These are some quite annoying jumps. Like, you could use all the platforms, but that'd be really slow. For this banana! Oh. Okay, luckily this doesn't matter that much. Since we already got the banana, I don't have to do those jumps again, so... right now we get back sent up here. And we can quickly go towards the back here. Oh, it was a little bit more that way. So we need to get into this pipe over here, because there's some more music notes over here. Oh. Oh, take the hit because I don't want to miss these notes. And there we go, another banana spawns. But, you know, this spot to the left is really suspicious. Let's check it out. And luckily we checked it because there's another banana! So yeah, getting that banana. Just... And now we can actually grab the banana we saw earlier. There we go. Banana! This next banana can be kind of annoying. Because the banana is actually hidden in that rock over here. But it's actually hidden. It has a very specific angle for a hit to hit it. So luckily I got it first try. Let's go. Banana! So now the route gets more difficult. Usually if I would ever forget a banana somewhere in this route, it's usually during the Cascade Kingdom. So I really hope I don't miss anything. Gonna grab this one. Oh, banana! Almost forgot. And over here, we see our good friend, the T-Rex again, which helped us earlier to get all the way to the top there. But no, we're going to use him for a different use. We're going to break open this rock, and then we just lure him away from that spot, because there's a glowing spot with a banana. Over here are some rocks, and one of those rocks has another banana. We're getting close to the end of Cascade Kingdom, though, because once we get to this timer challenge over here, another banana appears. Oh. See, I still made that. Luckily, with the dive, you can still grab that banana. It takes a while for Cappy to get back, so you can't really open that chest to get this banana. Luckily, you can also open chests by doing a ground pound, so you don't have to wait for Cappy. And underwater, there's another banana. And we quickly head over to the shop again, because, you know, this shop is, again, easily... No, I don't want to buy the hearts. I want to buy the banana. And that's all the bananas we buy from shops. Banana! Oh, you can already see a banana back there, but we're first gonna grab the bunny for another banana. And another banana. We're almost done, as you might have remembered, there was one piece of hint art we grabbed earlier. And that part is right over here, which is another banana. I think I missed one moon somewhere during this route. Banana. Ooh, yeah, I missed one banana. Yes, I gotta find a backup somewhere. As I said, the later I realized that I miss a banana, the more difficult the backup moons become. So if I miss one over there, I kind of have to go a little bit far out of my way.
It's not a
But
backup
banana.
moon.
Banana. I wonder how many times I've said banana at the end of this run.
We should have probably added a banana counter.
All right, so... Oh, whoops, my bad. In a lot of these kingdoms, this toad wants to listen to specific music, and he wants to listen to a blocky tune, which is basically any 8-bit section you've seen before. You get the entire list of music you've seen before, and by showing the correct one, you get a banana. Quickly grab our cap on that tail over there, on that tanuki tree, to spawn another banana. And now I actually have to go for a backup moon, which I think there's one banana. Which I think one of the fastest one is over here. Quickly have to run through this segment over here. On some notes. or node spawn. But with a quick spin throw, you grab those quite easily. And with that, we get another banana! Our backup banana! And hopefully with that, I got all the bananas I need. Which we're gonna check right now, because the final thing we need to do... Well, there's actually two things we're gonna do. Kind of want to do the wing cap stage of Mario 64, but unfortunately it just gives us a banana. But yeah, then so that is over here, which is gonna grant us all kinds of achievements of things we've done along the road. So first she gives us a banana for rescuing Princess Peach from the Banana Kingdom. And she has a very large list of things you need to do for achievements. And hopefully this gives us enough. So this one is for collecting over 250 bananas from the top of my head. I hope I remember what all of these are. This is for collecting enough bananas from nodes. I think you need to do at least 5. Banana! I should just say a lot of banana here. You can see in the title what it means. Banana! The names are pretty obvious to what they are, how we got them. Banana! Banana! So many fast bananas here. Bananas! That gives us another banana! We should have a total of 15 bananas in this kingdom at the end. Banana! Alright, 16 bananas. You're right. Another banana! Banana! So that should have given me one more banana. That means we didn't get one of the... Oh wait, no, we got 250. Let's go. We got 250 bananas. So there we go. We finally collected all the bananas. We're not gonna... Well, technically we're gonna collect 3 more bananas right at the end of the run. But this gives us enough bananas to go to the dark side of the banana. So the Odyssey is powered up for the final time. And there we go. The next kingdom unlocks. Even though we go to a darker side of the banana, it doesn't look that much darker anyway. So yeah, we get back to the banana again. So that means the low gravity again. And this time, luckily we don't have to defeat Bowser and save Princess Peach because she's out there exploring kingdoms, having bananas for us. Now we're gonna have to go to this strangely shaped planet over there. It kind of looks like a carrot. Because, you know, there's bunnies all around here. It kind of makes sense, this is banana. Gonna grab a little bit of a backup heart here. If you throw your cap on this one, it actually gives you one of these big hearts, which gives you 3 extra health. Not completely necessary, but since there's a boss gauntlet coming up with no points of restoring health along the way, I would really like to grab that for backup. So we get in here, and basically what we gotta do over here is we gotta defeat all the Brutals again, but this time with low gravity, which makes it kind of interesting, especially with jumps like that. Oh, I know which one it is. Good one. I'm gonna do a lot of ground balls just to get slower to the ground more quickly, just so he doesn't run away or anything. There we go, that's the first Brutal. Pretty fast one. Aw, I'm kind of disappointed that we're almost grabbing no bananas anymore. So I'm just gonna talk about where we are. So we're at the dark side of the banana, right? I don't really think it's that dark. I said banana, right? Dark side of the banana. So yeah, on the dark side of the banana, it's not as dark as I would expect from something called the dark side of the banana. Kinda unfortunate. So yeah, now we're gonna fight this girl again. And once those bombs are also affected by the low gravity of the banana. So they take a little bit longer to hit the ground. And after that, we quickly gotta do a dive on top of her instead of a regular jump because of the low gravity of the dark side of the banana. It would just take too long to actually just jump on her. So, trying to throw another bomb at her. Quickly doing a dive, just so I hit her a little bit faster. Then she's gonna drop bombs on the dark side of the banana again. And that's really annoying. So we're just gonna stop her here right at the dark side of the banana. There we go, we got her. She won't leave the dark side of the banana anymore. So that's 2 out of 4 brutals done. Only 2 more to go. We're gonna roll up here again. Which I preferably not do a jump to get out of my roll because, you know, because we're at the dark side of the banana. Mario would make a big jump, and I don't want to do that. That'd be slow at the dark side of the banana. Alright, so we got this poison guy again. But again, with low gravity of the dark side. I'm gonna stop it. It's been enough. We got this poison guy again with the low gravity. It makes him a little bit more difficult to actually land on his head, so actually take a little bit more distance so I can time my jumps a bit more. There we go. That's the 3rd brutal. Only 1 more brutal to go. Gonna roll again. The low gravity does give us a little bit of a faster way on top of those platforms over there. Gonna roll up this final part here. Well, second to last part actually. Alright, now we got this final one, and this one actually becomes a bit easier, I would say, with being at the dark side of the banana. Just because you have such low gravity, it makes it really easy to just keep on bouncing on top of him. Oh, was a little bit too early. But still, you can still easily make a jump on top of him. You don't even need to use his head to get on top of him. So that's all 4 of the brutals. However, that's not the end yet, because we kind of saw all 4 brutals, but there was 1 more boss fight involving the brutals, so we're gonna finish up with that one. So there's actually 1 point of health restoration during this run, which is during this level, which is right over here. There's 1 heart over here, but I got plenty of health. Only got hit once. Here we're gonna go into the pipe. Oh, go into the pipe. Once we get over here, the Mecha Brutal appears again. Luckily this time he's really easy. Just do a ground pound, bounce and cappy, and you're on top. So that's 1 hit. And besides that, it's also way easier to just stay on top of it. Oh, or not. Why did I jinx myself? Normally you would have to grab a hammer bro from over there to actually get on top. But we don't need that. Oh. Here is gonna run again. And since this time we're on top, we can just stand over here and he'll just run into the wall again. Once he's done with that. Oh, did it a little bit too early, unfortunately. Oh, where did my cap go? Oh, thought I'd make get a little bit of distance so he doesn't hit me. Or yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, that makes hit number 3. One more hit to go. Time is coming up pretty soon. Well, there will be a little bit of a cutscene after I defeat this guy anyway. But yeah, get ready on time, I guess. Oh, just let him walk around a little bit longer. There we go. That's the 4th hit, and he's gone. There's only one final thing to do to actually complete this run. Something will spawn out of this thing, and I kind of want the entire audience to shout it with me once we grab it, because of course it's gonna be, I assume, if this animation will stop playing. Oh my god. The time is when I grab the banana. So, banana! Slightly overestimate, but still a pretty good time. Like, my PB was only 3 minutes off or something, so I'm definitely not too disappointed about that time. So yeah, I hope you all enjoyed Super Mario Odyssey. Hope you all enjoyed all those bananas. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed. And enjoy the rest of the marathon. We got great stuff coming up.
That we do, because next up is gonna be Hat in Time. Run at the any percent category, run by Recalled and